Hello and good afternoon, it's Michelle Carville here, author, educator, social soul, and today it's the 3rd of May and it is launch day for Get Social. So I have been a busy girl today and I was delighted to be invited here to talk with Toby Babb on Toby's Recruiter 360 TV YouTube channel, and I've been interviewed, and we were just talking all about Get Social and why I wrote it and who it's for and about the 90-day plan and about strategy, and we've had a really wonderful chat. And I said, you know what, Toby, it would be marvellous if I could just grab you for a few minutes, because we met at the LinkedIn CEO Roundtable event, didn't we? And that was all about helping CEOs be more social, and Toby is pretty social.
Thank you.
And so and runs this amazing channel and is doing lots of other things. And so I thought, this book is all about giving insight into what other CEOs do. It would be wonderful to just have a quick 5 minutes and just ask you a few questions, if that's okay. Great.
Thank you.
So
and congratulations.
Thank you
it
very
must be
much.
really exciting. It's a great book as well, so you should be really proud of yourself.
Thank you very much. And I am proud of myself.
Yeah,
I am proud of myself. So thank you for that. So, so Toby, tell me, you are a social CEO. You see being social as something that's important, not just for yourself, but for Harrington Star as well. Tell me what was your decision? Why do you feel that you wanted to be part of the brand story?
So look, it goes back to when we first started the company. We were 4 people in a room. It was a bad time economically in 2010, and we knew we had to do something different. And the ability for us to sort of shout louder than we were happened, and sort of we realised it very, very quickly through LinkedIn at the stage, through Twitter, that if we could be putting out these messages and showcasing what we were doing and adding value to a marketplace, that we could actually amplify the brand an awful lot. That needed, sort of people who were prepared to go up and talk and speak and get in front of the camera at various stages, or just write at various stages, and all stuff which I love doing. Anyway within that. But the ramifications of it were that we were able to just be a lot noisier than people. And when we were meeting people, they thought we were 50 people rather than 4. When we were 20, they thought we were 200. And it became sort of a company where everyone could, and you could see it, you could physically see it at events where you were beforehand the annoying recruitment business, that suddenly you became the business that was giving value and adding content and adding information that can make people more important, and make your brand more important to a community. And that sort of community-led business that we felt we could add to became the fundamental part of our strategy, I would say.
Fantastic. And as the CEO, you wanted to be part of that. You would have, you wouldn't have felt right not to have your own voice in there and to be doing these interviews. And
look, I think that's an important part of it. Look, I've got loads of people out there I trust. I want to get them as involved as possible. I think we're one of LinkedIn's most socially engaged businesses, and I think that only happens when it isn't just a top-down thing, but it's an all thing. But I can't ask and expect people to go out there and blog and speak on camera and talk about things if I'm not there and doing it myself as well. And I think that sort of aspect of being able to communicate the personality of the brand, the values of the brand, the information of it has to come from the top, if you want to say that.
Well, I 100% agree with that, and hence the message and the education and the learning in the book. So it's wonderful to hear you say that. And that whole lead by doing, hashtag lead by doing, is something that I is part of my mission, as you well know. So so what advice would you give to any CEOs or any leaders, or anybody who is just kind of thinking, oh, why would I do that? I'm not comfortable with that. I've got nothing to say. I'm terrified. What if I get it all wrong? There were a number of reasons. What would you just say is kind of, you must have felt some of those things.
I think there's always a reason not to do something, isn't there? If you look hard enough, you can always find out a reason not to do something. And I'm a big believer in iterative comfort zones. So you start off here, and then you sort of move yourself slightly out of it, and you move yourself slightly out of it again, and suddenly, all of a sudden, within months, you found yourself from being really uncomfortable with something that's become very, very natural for you.
I like that.
Or vice versa, as I should say. And I think that sort of aspect of not being frozen by it, being yourself. No, we've spoken a lot just now about authenticity and doing stuff, and you put it brilliantly to say, look, what have you done in the last 72 hours? What have you done across the thing? What's happening that's good news in it?
Yeah.
I remember someone talking to me about a window cleaning company, and they were just putting out the sort of information about the big bids that they'd won in the city. This is big, windows in the city that they were doing, and it became a huge thing for them because people wanted to be part of their tribe. And I think this is what it's about, isn't it? It's just broadcasting and trumpeting the good things you're doing, the good and the great of what's involved. You're adding a little bit of content. You're just thinking, what are your clients interested in? Who are you talking to? Yeah. For us, we've got our clients, we've got our candidates we want to speak to, and we've got our consultants, the people we want to hire.
Yep.
And this is, social media is a fundamental way of us getting all three of them. Yep. Can we speak to people differently who are candidates than who are clients than who are consultants? You can only do that when you understand them.
Yes.
You think about their problems. You think about what issues they're going through. You think about some of the pain that they're feeling. And if you can sort of help with some of that and tailor your content to that, I think you've got half the battle. It doesn't necessarily mean how interesting you are and whether you're eating this or that day.
Yeah.
But if it's about saying, right, I understand what you're going through, and here's a couple of the things that we've heard from other people who are going through that and how they've helped it.
Yeah. That
sort of stuff becomes fundamental to it. I think that's one of the big ways that certain companies have just absolutely exploded. Salesforce as a prime example. Mark Benioff, I think, started a community that helped each other work out with it. They became advocates and brand advocates of their thing and started telling other people about it.
Yep. And
all of a sudden you've got this amazing thing that happens because of it.
It is. And communicating with all of them through social technologies becomes a reality, doesn't it? Whereas to do that without tech would be very difficult.
Yeah.
You just can't get that reach or amplification.
It's a massively privileged time that we live in to have these sort of these abilities at extraordinarily low cost to broadcast in the same way that it would have taken millions and millions of pounds for people to do in yesteryear. Yeah. And when you've got that sort of thing, I think you've got to really embrace it.
Yeah, and we just talked earlier about not only the broadcasting but also the gems that can be learned from listening in. I mean, you made a very good point there about talking to your audiences and understanding their problems. Well, to understand their problems, you've got to listen, haven't you, to what those problems are, and the social.
And they'll tell you through that social media.
They do.
You work out where people hang out, where they stay, what they're saying, what sort of messages there are. And even in that, the amount of leads that you get and the information about what sort of stuff's happening in marketplaces is phenomenal. Yep. It is an extraordinary time to be able to get this and give yourself an advantage. And when people talk about ROI for me, and of course this is the thing, short term versus long term versus medium term, it might not happen today. It might. You might get a win the very next day from something you do. But if this becomes a way of life in your business,
it is.
I can absolutely guarantee that this is something that's going to return time and time again from it. And the main investment is time.
It is time, but if you say, how do I fit this in? Well, you don't fit it in. It becomes part of what you do. It becomes part of what you do. And it's not something you fit in.
We talk about 5 keys in what our consultants do on a day-to-day basis, and the 5th one, which is most relevant to this, is build the brand. And that should be one of the things that they build into their day plans, into their strategy about what they're going to do, building their personal brand, and we call it being famous in their space.
Nice.
So we want people to in their communities to say, right, who's that person I need to go to? I've got this problem, or I'm thinking about moving, or I'm thinking about hiring, or I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Who's the person who put that up? Who's the person who did it? And that's where it comes, and that is the hidden gem of social selling and social recruitment and social media, as far as I'm concerned.
Brilliant. Okay, so my very, very lovely social CEO, thank you very much, Toby. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Likewise.
And thank you, guys. I will be sharing that and into various channels, and hopefully we'll get Toby on my podcast when that goes live as well. So look forward to that. So thank you, and bye for now.